I'm Neil Kummer. I started this business back when I was 24, 25, and now I'm 26. No, I'm just kidding. That's my first joke. And I started a year after I made Aliyah, and that was in 1978. And for the first 15 years, it was mostly appliances because appliances were a big deal because taxes were over 200%. And then over the years, they gradually reduced them. So, now and for the last 25 years or so, they've been at about 17% if you bring them in from the country of origin. But you folks, if you were assuming you were Olim or returning residents or Katin Chosrim, people who grew up in Israel and then moved and came back, you have no taxes at all, and you can also bring things from other countries. So we started then bringing relocations. In other words, packing at people's houses and shipping them door to door. So that's what we've been doing ever since. And I think we're improving with time, luck. We've gotten lucky. They say, that if you try it long enough, you eventually get lucky with who your agents are and stuff like that. So those are the kind of luck we had. I'll just tell you the choices, like in terms of who you're going to be using for a shipment, if you decide to make a shipment, and we'll go through that as well. As to, some people decide that it's simply not something they want to do. They don't love any of their furniture, and they don't have anything they value in America or wherever they're coming from, so they bring nothing. I don't think that's so typical. I mean, that's what I did when I was 24. I brought my stereo and my bicycle, but that was, I was a different stage of life. So people who have stuff that they really like, or that things that they'd really like to have, and it's cheaper to buy in America, which is nearly everything, then you probably make a shipment. And some people ship a lot of stuff. And some people ship not so much stuff. Some people fill containers of these things, like multiple containers, and some people ship one. This is a 1,000-foot container. Some people ship 2/3 full of a container. There's infinite variety. Some people ship one of these things or several of these things, which are called LCL, less than container loads. And we'll go through all the reasons why you might choose one over the other, and what's worth bringing and what's worth leaving, what the differences are in terms of timing and in terms of possible surprises, how to avoid them. And if you want, we'll even give tips on Aliyah, like how to succeed, how to culturally insulate yourself, stuff like. No, usually I don't talk about that, but someday maybe we're going to start doing a podcast, and we'll start interviewing Olim who've done interesting things, and we'll ask them questions like that. But for now, we're just going to focus on shipping. So shipping is usually done in these kinds of big metal boxes, which are called shipping containers, and they're owned by the shipping companies. So what we do on your behalf is rent them, either one or more or half, or we have what's called consolidators in various places who will put together a bunch of these smaller shipments, like a few of these or one of these, and put them into a container together, and that's called a less than container load. And that's obviously a lot cheaper, but it's a lot more expensive per cubic foot. So the more you ship, the cheaper the rate is per cubic foot. There are also advantages in terms of timing, like for these container loads, where what happens is they pack up your stuff, they come to your house, they pack up your stuff, and then they usually come the same day with a container like this, and then load it in, and then lock it and seal it and take it away, take it to the port, goes onto a boat. If it's a direct sailing, it just takes from the East Coast just like 22 days. If it's sometimes people put them on indirect sailings, which can get stuck in Greece for a month. So these are the different sizes of containers, and let's try to go so that I don't just float around to different subjects. I'm going to try to follow the pattern of this presentation, of this PowerPoint. So the best solution for your move. So clearly, the first thing to do is decide that you're really making Aliyah, and to see if you really want to bring your goods.